Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Apple Tech Talk. I'm here in Hong Kong now. I'm doing sort of a really cool trip across Asia, and maybe over the weekend I'll record some footage and either post it to my Facebook, which you can follow right there, or maybe I'll just post it to the channel as a weekend project. Let me know in the comment section below, what would you like to see? Hong Kong is really aesthetically pleasing. The skyline is beautiful. Unfortunately, there isn't much to show right now as it's nighttime, but it is absolutely gorgeous. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below if you're interested in something like that, and I really think I could capture some really good footage of Hong Kong. So let me know in the comment section below. I'm also going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in Hong Kong over the next few days, so if you want to see any of that, if you want to see a vlog, or if you want to see me document it in any way, again, let me know in the comment section below. So for this video, we'll be talking about iOS 14. So I know iOS 13 hasn't even been released yet, but now that we know the features of iOS 13, which in my opinion actually underwhelmed me, now let's talk about iOS 14. So the next chapter in Apple's mobile software, what can we expect? So there's a lot more I wanted to put on this wish list, but I can only fit 10. So these 10 are very big. These are some of the top 10 most needed features in iOS 14, the ones we desperately need. So the first one I think we can all agree is Siri improvements. So let's face it, Siri is very dumb. Compared to a lot of the competition out there, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, even Microsoft's Cortana, Samsung's Bixby, I mean, Siri is just like incomparable at this point. And some of the things I'd really like to see is offline support, first of all. Also a more contextual / conversational awareness. So that's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest advantages about Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Bixby is that they have a lot of contextual awareness, not only in when you're having a conversation, and it's being able to track what you said before and what makes sense to say next and what you're talking about, and also its inability to, for example, identify objects out in the wild, something that Samsung's Bixby has, and it's a huge advantage in my opinion over the traditional Siri capabilities. I would also like to see a better UI on Siri's interface. You know, it got a small revamp a few years ago, but in essence it's still the same as when it first debuted, and it really needs an upgrade. So the second feature I think we can also all agree is more customization. So I understand that Apple's iOS is never going to reach the stage where it's nearly as customizable as Android, but all I'm asking for is a little bit more customization. I think a little bit more is in order with Apple. So for example, the ability to move apps anywhere on the screen, I think it's really dumb that we're still stuck in that grid-like layout that sort of feels really boring after a while. And also custom themes the way we have it on Android, although that is a little bit less likely to see as Apple likes to keep their gates closed to that kind of stuff. But just a thought of a way they can implement customization, meaningful customization, that customers would really love. So I switched to auto mode because manual mode was making my face blurry. So like I was saying, custom themes, big thing that would really help customization. In addition, I'd like to change the default apps for the iPhone. I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people like to do with their phones, is they like to change default apps for things such as the browser or for the Photos application, etc. And I think that Apple should really recognize that their stock apps aren't the best for every single service. So they need to really understand that they need to give the customers that capability to switch. Google Photos is definitely better than Apple Photos, and I really want to switch my default Photos application to Google Photos, but I unfortunately cannot do that because Apple doesn't let you. And I don't want to switch to Android where I'd be able to do that, because there's a lot of other sacrifices I'd have to make to get onto that platform, and I'm just not willing to make those at this point. But Apple, if you did that, that would really change the game. So the third is an unhindered Safari app. Now this one, maybe not so many people had in mind, but basically, you know, the mobile form of browsing, Safari is a very limited browser. For example, they don't have support for Java, and there's a lot of other things like Flash even that they don't have support for on mobile, and it's really hindering the application in many ways. Furthermore, the application itself hasn't gotten an upgrade in many years. and I really honestly think it's time for a revamp of the application. It's just been way too long. So fourth is an updated Maps app. So yeah, let's face it, Apple Maps sucks and Google Maps is way better. But I think some of the things they could implement for Apple Maps include better GPS navigation and also better satellite images, right? As of right now, which Apple's actually starting to do with iOS 13. They're gonna have more detailed blueprints of structures and things like that. I think that's great and a great step in the right direction. But I think what Apple really needs to do is work on their GPS tracking. So many times when I use Apple Maps, not even when I'm using navigation, just using the GPS feature, it says that I'm in a totally different place from where I actually am, and this is my real world experience with the app, and I'm unable to actually navigate using Apple Maps because it just doesn't work. And Google Maps just for some reason works much better, and for some reason it's got something to do with the Apple Maps app itself. It's not anything to do with the GPS of the phone. So many times that I've ended up in not at my destination, or there's been a route that Apple Maps suggests me to take that actually isn't faster or isn't even existing anymore. So overall, Apple, please fix that. Number 5 is guest mode profiles on the iPad. So iPad OS was actually a great step in the right direction for iOS 13, and let me know if you guys want to see a full video demo on iPad OS. I think a lot of other channels have covered it, and I want this channel to focus on Apple aspects that aren't talked about much on other channels. But iPad OS is a big deal. I think guest mode profiles on the iPad OS would really go along with the narrative that Apple has of the iPad being a prosumer device. And I think that if you had guest mode profiles, it would give it another like computer-like feature, another Mac-like feature, and it would really just sort of allow several people to use the iPad and for it to just feel more like a work device as opposed to just a home device, and I think this would really help. Number 6, we have non-intrusive notification calls. So one of the most annoying things with my iPhone is definitely when I get a call when I'm on my phone and I don't want to answer it, but if I press decline, it's going to go straight to voicemail, and the person who's calling me will know that I hung up on them. So Apple, please, like Android, it's so simple. Just have like a little notification at the top that comes in when you get a call from any app, not just the stock phones application, and you just be able to dismiss it. Just, not have to deal with it and let it go to voicemail naturally. And this is such a basic feature. I cannot believe Apple has not implemented this in their system already. Number 7 is a camera settings within the app. So this is long overdue, Apple, especially with today's camera smartphone technology getting so much better. It just really makes sense to have all the settings within the camera app itself. Having to go to settings every time just to change one little feature is really, really annoying and really tedious. Apple, please just give us in iOS 14 camera settings within the app. It's not something I think is very un-Apple-like. It's definitely something Apple could do. Number 8 is 3 toggles for control centers. So if you go to Control Center right now, you do have a lot of options, but the problem is if you click for example Bluetooth, it will disconnect just temporarily. If you want to actually completely disable Bluetooth, you actually have to go into settings, because if you tap it again, it just turns it back on. So it's really a feature that Apple needs to implement. They had it in the old versions of iOS where you could just turn the feature on and off, and I don't mind the fact that Apple has that new setting now of disconnecting temporarily. I just think they could have all 3. Why not? Every time I want to turn off the Wi-Fi, if it's connecting to bad networks, I have to go to settings and turn it off manually. It's really annoying. So number 9 is further AR capabilities. So AR is the future, let's be honest, and iPhones should really take advantage of that before Apple's AR smart glasses will come out. By the way, I will make a video all about that very soon, so stay tuned on this channel, subscribe so you don't miss that. But basically, yeah, AR is the future, and AR within the camera app would be really nice to identify landmarks, items, and more. And Bixby is already able to do this since the Samsung Galaxy S9, which came out in 2018. So it's been some time now that other smartphones have had this feature. I really think Apple could get on this feature, and it's definitely within the ballpark of reality for Apple, as they've introduced AR capability, I think last WWDC last year. So they really want to invest heavily in it, and we'll see where it goes. And number 10 is definitely the most necessary, most desperately needed feature, both on my list, and it should be number 1 on your list as well. And that is new icons, new look, new feel of the home screen, the lock screen, everything. It's long overdue. Within the apps, everything, every single year since I think iOS 9, I've looked every year at WWDC that when Apple unveils the new iOS, that they're going to have a new icon, new layout, new UI in general. And every year I've been disappointed, including this year. I thought last year with iOS 12 that was meant for stability and for the entire system to be optimized, and that iOS 13 would include a lot of the feature set. But I was wrong. iOS 13 also focuses on stability and not so many features. And honestly, I don't care so much about features. If anything, I just really want a new layout, a new home screen, new icons, new app look, everything. It's long overdue at this point, and Apple, you know, they haven't updated the icon look since iOS 7. That came out in 2013. It's been almost 6 years, and it's just, you know, it's kind of sad at this point. Apple really needs to change the look of their UI. You know, with Android you have custom themes and you can change the look very easily of your apps. So that's a little different, but iOS, come on guys, if you don't have customization, you can't change the themes at all. You gotta give us a little bit of something different. And I think a new icon layout will really, I think, excite a lot of people and breathe new life into iOS overall. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to talk about one more bonus feature that I wanted, which is the battery percentage status for both the iPhone 10, 10R, 10s, 10s Max. You know, it's needed. It's needed. It sort of feels like it's reverted back to the old iOS days before you could see the battery percentage with the new iPhones. And definitely for iOS 14, I really like to see that. There's a lot of stuff Apple needs to implement into their new upcoming software, and they can definitely do it. They can definitely turn things around, but it'll take some real maturity on Apple's part and some real attention from them to listen to the customers and know what customers want and what they desperately need. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm going to be making some cool videos next week. Stay tuned for when I make the Apple Air smart glasses video, which I don't think will be coming out next week, but within the coming weeks it will be coming. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I apologize if it's blurry. I don't know why it's doing that. Even now it's blurry. Right now it's not. I don't know why. I really apologize. But yeah guys, I'm in Hong Kong. Let me know if you guys want me to make any videos while I'm in Hong Kong. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.